أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر صدق الله العظيم.
Jazakallah khair, sir, for the beautiful recitation. Now I would like to call upon our beloved HOD, Dr. S. Karimullah Basha, to give the welcome address.
Honorable management, my beloved principal, Dr. Bashir sir, vice principals, Professor Sheikh sir, Dr. Kamal Nazar sir, a resource person, Dr. G. Vedanta Desikan, department colleagues, research scholars, student friends, audience. I am delighted to welcome you all for today's program, which is nothing but the beginning, an auspicious day in the annals of the Department of Business Economics, shift to the new college. And my department colleagues totally, they are very much interested to bring about a new perspective in the field of economics. Therefore, they have selected two different specialties. The first specialty being the resource person, the second specialty being the topic. Resource person, in a sense, whenever problem comes in philosophy, religious philosophy, we will be calling Govindarajan, we will be calling Vedantas, we will be calling our religious scriptures. Therefore, in this respect, all my colleagues, all my research community unanimously proposed the name of Govindarajan Vedanta Desikan sir to come over here and present on a very new topic called as an Atmanirbhar program. And it is a right choice, I feel, because whenever we come with our request, Govindarajan sir will never discourage us, neither Desikan sir will discourage us. We are hopeful of getting the maximum from this personality. Moreover here, in the beginning, when I am welcoming the community, the academic community, the intellectual community, I take it as a privilege to distinguish the literature of economics, the literature of Indian history, to narrative the concept of Atmanirbhar program. Before this, the Indian freedom movement, freedom struggle movement has seen a concept called as an Swadeshi movement. When Bengal was divided in the year 1903, Swadeshi movement was started in the year 1905. And in this Swadeshi movement, the manufacturing of textile was given priority. And it was made to make you self-rule, Swaraj, self-rule. Similarly here, during this present pandemic time, when we have to face a new challenge, the present Prime Minister of India has initiated a program called as an Atmanirbhar program in the year 2020. And in this Atmanirbhar program, our Prime Minister has given an initiative to start MSMEs, to encourage farmers, to promote the domestic trade activities. He has initiated a program, and this program was initiated with a package of 20 lakhs of rupees. And the target was to make India a self-reliant. And here, with this self-reliant initiative, I hope the Department of Business Economics also will be becoming self-reliant. They will be initiating many more programs, and wholeheartedly, we have to thank the management, we have to thank our beloved principal for immediately sanctioning the amount of today's program. Now is it audible? Okay. And he
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
okay. Is it audible now? Okay.
Yes.
Audience, it is sincerely regretted for some technical mistake. And here, I have to insist that we, the Department of Economics, are profoundly thankful to our beloved principal, Dr. Bashir sir, to immediately sanction the said amount of today's program. And similarly, I should be very grateful to our vice principals, Professor Sheikh sir, as well as Professor Kamal Nazar sir, to immediately encourage us to proceed with the program. And today's program is a coincidence. I should thank my senior faculty here to make me awaken, to make me understand the importance of today. And here, today is a special day. It is an International Day of Democracy. And in this day, we are initiating a new program, a new schedule of the Department of Business Economics. And here, this day, we are celebrating as a self-reliant day. What is this self-reliant day? What is that we are remembering with this? And here, this self-reliance is coming with a background of COVID-19. And the same month, this month, September, we have celebrated Teachers' Day, Best Teachers' Day. Okay, thereby here, a best teacher always will be reminding us the concept of simplicity. And it will be talking about the life, uncertainty. It will be talking about the concept of what is called as the importance of the learning, education concept. Thereby here, this September 5th award, according to me, should be given to a particular bacteria or a virus called as an COVID-19, which has taught a human being the concept of simplicity, the concept of togetherness, the concept of uncertainty. Thereby here, when we talk about all these concepts, we are going towards a better prospectus, and I welcome all of you towards this well-organized program. I welcome you all. I welcome my faculty. I welcome Desikan sir to go with the program. Now, with a profound thanks, I shall be handing over my mic to the other participants. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much, sir, for your welcome address. You have truly enlightened us. Now, I would like to call our respected principal for the presidential address.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning to one and all present here. My dear Vice to the Department, Dr. S. Karimullah Basha, PG Research Department of Economics, the Vice Principal Academy, Professor Sheikh Mohammed, Vice President Administration, Dr. Kamal Nazar, Controller of Examination, Professor E.R. Abdul Latif, Dr. A. Abdul Rahim, and above all, the resource person for today's national level webinar on Atmanirbhar Bharat and its implication by Dr. G. Vedanta Desikan. Indeed, it gives me immense pleasure to be part of this program. The Department of Business Economics has taken an initiative to organize this webinar, and I hope that it will be very beneficial for everyone. As rightly pointed out by the head of the Department of Economics, today happened to be the International Day of Democracy. Even he said it is a self-reliance day, and how we are, what is it that is required today in the world of democracy? The word democracy is very simple, but how effective it is going to be. And I hope that the resource person, Dr. Vedanta Desikan sir, will throw more light on us. And this national webinar organized by the Department of Business Economics is a very good initiative. I wish the department all the best, and I hope that all the participants will really be benefited out of this national level webinar. I thank one and all. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you so much, sir, for your presidential address. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. A. Abdul Rahim to introduce today's resource person.
Good morning. Good morning and a warm welcome to one and all. Honorable Chairman and Secretary, respected Principal Dr. Bashir Ahmed, Vice Principal Dr. Kamal Nasir Administration, Professor Sheikh Mohammed, Academic, our Head of the Department, Dr. Karimullah Basha, learned professors, research scholars, students, and other participants. It is a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today, who is going to talk to us about the Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is self-reliance, and its implication. This is the Prime Minister program. Our speaker, my very good friend, Dr. G. Vedanta Desikan, is a prominent teacher of economics and rural development. He has produced 52 MPhil and 12 PhD research projects with 22 years of experience in academic and research. Besides attending several conferences, seminars, and a training program, he has also organized the seminar, conferences, faculty development program, and workshops at a national and international level. He has published 40 national and 15 international journals international research papers in several refereed journals and journals with high impact factor. He has also reviewed the books published by leading publishers. He has conducted 125 extension program at village level all over Tamil Nadu. He has delivered invited talk and motivational speeches for faculty and students in various colleges, universities on several topics. At present, he is working as Associate Professor, Center for Rural Development, Annamalai University, Tamil Nadu. Now, I would like to welcome Dr. G. Vedanta Desikan and express my gratitude to all the participants to this one-day national webinar. I hope and request your cooperation throughout this program for its grand success. So once again, a warm welcome to one and all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your welcome address. Now, before I call upon our chief guest for today, I would like to give a small introduction about Atmanirbhar Bharat program. So, Atmanirbhar Bharat represents the new national spirit, enabling every person, institution, industry, and state to move beyond its full potential is the key goal of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Within a few months of announcement, the self-reliance drive has kicked off in many sectors of the economy, from the defense, space, atomic energy, coal, mineral, civil aviation, infrastructure, manufacturing, etc. There is no sector of the country where structural reforms, policies, and future projects are not within the vision of Atmanirbhar. That means every sector has been covered under this. The government has also given crucial financial support to strengthen this drive. A total amount of approximately 27.1 lakh crore rupees has been allotted, which is approximately 13% of the GDP. Whatever it is, the PM Atmanirbhar Swasth Bharat Yojana for the healthcare sector with an outlay of about 64,180 crores for over 6 years. So spanning a total period of 6 years. And for production-linked incentives, 1.97 lakh crore has been allotted. Good support is being given from the government to run Atmanirbhar mission in parallel to post-COVID reconstruction efforts. So basically, it is to reconstruct the economy after the COVID period. So the global situation and national level revival both demand and a productive and a proactive Atmanirbhar. So that's all for the introduction. Now I would like to call upon our chief guest to throw more light on this topic.
Hello.
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good morning to all. Respected principal of the new college, Professor Bashir Ahmed Sahab, Vice Principal Administration, Professor Kamal Nazir, Vice Principal Academic, Professor Sheikh Mohammed, Anwar Sadat, the Director IQAC, Organizing Secretary of this webinar, Muhammad Rafi, and my good friend, always young and energetic, Dr. Abdul Rahim, all the above, the pin of the department, Professor of Economics and Head, Dr. Karimullah Sahab. Good morning to all. First of all, I am much thankful to the management and the staff members of Economics for having given me this opportunity. Just now, the organizing committee member rightly pointed out, this is the month of Teachers' Day, and we are celebrating Democratic Day today. So, in this particular special day, I am happy that the Department of Business Economics, New College of Chennai, is organizing the webinar on this. I don't want to say this is the emerging topic, a vital and need of the hour. When Professor Rahim contacted me over the phone, he has given freedom to me to select the topic. During that week, I was thinking about the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Normally we call it as ABA. In English, we call it as Self-Reliant India Scheme. One can ask a question, what is the necessity to be the self-reliant in the present context? Because right from 2019, the world economy has gone down because of the impact of Chinese virus, or even we can call it as Corona 19. Now it was Corona 20 and it is Corona 21. We do not know whether it will become Corona 22 or 23. But by God's grace, I hope that everything will be okay. So, in the midst of the problem of Corona, when not only the Indian government, the whole world has announced the lockdown to safeguard the people, because people are the pillar of a nation. Without saving a people, without the proper help of the health of the people, one cannot think about the economy. The government of India has also done the same. But when COVID-19 affected the whole world, you know very well, people said, India is having the largest population next to China. It is not possible to maintain the social distancing. So India will be affected much more. And we should fear about India. But you know very well, though we are having the largest population, our people are sensitive. But in certain cases, it is unavoidable. The corona has spreaded over, made an impact not only on the life of the people and on the economy of the country also. So, once the first wave is over, the opposition parties started to ask the question, why the lockdown should be continued? Why it should not be relaxed? What about the livelihood strategy of the people? What about the status of our economy? What are all the measures you are going to take up? How you are going to strengthen the economy or recruit it back? The Indian government started to think. Our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji, announced this scheme on 2020. It is nothing but Atmanirbhar scheme. As you know very well, Atmanirbhar is nothing but self-reliant. You should become self-sufficient on your own. Don't expect the other countries. In other words, you can relate it with new economic policy of 1992, where the former finance minister and Prime Minister of India, a well-renowned economist, Dr. Manmohan Singh ji, rightly pointed out, cut import and go for export. It is better to go for import substitution. You produce it local. So that is why they said produce locally and act globally. The same thing has returned now. And another question you can ask: when the Prime Minister announced the Atmanirbhar scheme, Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, he has given complete freedom to the Finance Minister of India, Honorable Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman. She has taken up this task in 3 different 5 press conferences and explained what is the main aim of this scheme and what the government is going to do and what is the expectation from the people, since they are all the beneficiary and they have to participate. Without the participation of the people, no program will be a successful one. Being a teacher of rural development, I can stress, whatever it may be the program, it should give benefit to the people. Then only they will be attracted, they will participate, and the program will be successful. Then they are able to get their livelihood strategy, through which the economy of not only the individual, household, and the country will be improved. There are, as I told you earlier, with the help of the 5 different press conferences, Nirmala Sitharaman ji announced different aspects of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. But it is a very difficult task to explain all the factors included in this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. So, though I have given the title Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan and its implication, I explained to my friend Dr. Rahim, after briefing what are all the components of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, let me take up the special reference on agriculture, because the economy from other sector can be revived. But when the agriculture sector ruined, given after proper production, it is not possible to rectify. On the one hand, we are affected by the different climate change and its worst impact. On the other hand, for the past 2 years, we have been suffering from the COVID. So, the agricultural sector should be given more preference while we are talking about the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. As you know, even now, even after the privatization, even after liberalization and globalization, still 65 to 75% of the population are engaging in agriculture. Still, they are depending on agriculture. And another important information is, out of total number of farmers, still 65 to 70% of the farmers are small farmers. We need not bother about the large farmer because they are able to come out. We need not bother about the agricultural laborers. They may go and fetch work from any place. Like the middle income family, the small farmers are always affected. So they are to be concentrated. They are to be concentrated. While Professor Rahim invited me to give talk on this topic, during the evening hours, I have gone for a survey to know about the status of this Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan at the village level, since Nirmala Sitharaman stressed we are bothering only about the small farmers. You can ask me a question. Why you have gone for a survey? You know very well. I belong to the most backward district of Kadalur. According to the even latest Human Development Index, still Kadalur is considered as most backward because on the one hand affected by flood and tsunami rain, on the another hand by drought. We don't have industrial development. We are still depending only on agriculture, having 90% of the farmers coming under the small farmers category. So, in another 45 minutes, let me touch upon the important aspect of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan with special reference to agriculture. I feel this is my task today. I will share the screen. In my second part of the speech, there is no screen sharing. I will give you the problems and what are all the solutions. It should be taken by the scholars and the teachers of economics, and further how we can find out the feasible solution and make the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan as a successful one for the benefit of the small farmers, very particularly in the context of primary sector, that is agriculture. Now let me share a screen. Please just wait for a minute, I will share it.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yes, unmute பண்ணிட்டு அதோ அந்த பவர் பாயிண்ட் ஓபன் பண்ணிக்கோ.
Friends, are you able to see the screen? Hello?
Yes, sir, your screen is visible, sir.
Are you able to see it?
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yes.
இந்த பவர்
But,
பாயிண்ட் இப்போ
yes, yes.
Are you able to see the screen now?
Yes, yes, sir, we can see the PPT, sir.
Yes, okay. So, basically, yes, as I told you earlier,
Okay, can you click F5 for full screen, sir?
are you able to see the screen,
Yes, sir. Just click F5, sir.
sir?
F5.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Full screen, sir, please.
Full screen. Full screen, please wait. Are you able to see now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, because of the impact of COVID, Modi ji announced this program on 12/5/2020. Actually, the program's aim is special economic package of rupees 20 lakh crore. You have to note it. Rupees 20 lakh crore. It is equivalent to 10% of India's GDP. So what happened? Because of the tough competition in the global supply chain and to help in empowering the poor, laborers, migrants who have been adversely affected by COVID-19, for them, this program will be a helpful one. In the next step, they have selected 5 important aspects. We can call it as 5 pillars of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Number 1 is economy. There, Nirmala Sitharaman rightly pointed out, we don't require incremental change, but makes quantum jumps. You are able to understand. We do not expect or we don't require the economic development as incremental change. That is 2 + 2 + 2. It should be a quantum jumps, that is nothing but 4 × 4, 16, 16 × 16, 256. Like the economy should be developed. And another very important aspect is infrastructure availability is very much essential, because to make India as modern and the latest one, we require the infrastructural arrangements. We require a very good infrastructure, whether it is agriculture or industry, whatever it may. The infrastructure should be developed very properly. When I am taking up agriculture, I will explain you. And the third one is a very good system. See, if the system is based on rules and rituals like the past, we cannot achieve the dream of 21st century. What is needed is you leave behind the rules. Don't bother about the rituals. It should be technology based, so we need technocrats. Rather than grinding the old thing, it is better to go for technological development. This alone will make India as sustainable in the midst of the world economy. The fourth one is a very vital point, as pointed out by one of the professor: democracy. Only in the democratic country one can become self-reliant. Where there is no democracy and where there is no freedom for women, let me quote Afghanistan, the present state of Afghanistan, when there is no democracy, when there is no freedom for women, when there is no permission for technological development and technological innovation, it is not possible to become a self-reliant. And the fifth pillar is very much important. Here, the demand and supply of the cycle of demand and supply is our asset. Our asset. You may come over the big push theory from regional economics. So here, the big push is necessary to revive the economics. That is why Prime Minister announced financial incentives and a stimulus of rupees 20 lakh crore to become this self-reliant. This is, shall we take it as a boon? Yes, definitely. The coronavirus made a way or given an opportunity in the midst of the curse to become not only India, the other countries as self-reliant, to have a global and healthy competition. Healthy competition. Okay. These are all the 5 pillars. And they have announced the government reforms on 7 aspects. They are very much essential for the growth and development of a country. Being the first reform, increasing in borrowing limits by the state government. One may say, what about the financial status of the government if they go like this? Even now the Tamil Nadu government said, we are lagging behind in the context of finance. It is not because of borrowing. It is only because of mismanagement and announcement of free schemes. And another one, privatization of public sector enterprises. Nowadays, if you go through the newspaper and others, people are confusing with the privatization of public sector enterprises with complete handover of public sector in the hands of privatization. It is not making the public sector enterprises into a private sector. The share will be, it should be noted. The second important thing is, still we are depending on micro, small and medium sized enterprises. Those, I have already told you, I am not bothering about the large industries. We are bothering only about the micro, small and medium industries like the small farmers. They have completely affected by this coronavirus. Though there is a demand, they are unable to supply. Even they are unable to open their industry. They are unable to ask their employees to come and work. The government has given certain measurement incentive to stimulate MSME. The third point is very vital. Migrant workers. When compared with the other states of India, migrant workers from other states towards Tamil Nadu are more in number. In Tamil, we call it as Vandarai Vazhavaikum Tamilagam. But during the lockdown, what happened? When they announced the lockdown, suddenly there are a number of criticism. On the one hand, to save the people, but the others said, you have announced suddenly to stop everything, including the transport. What is the stage of migrant worker? How they are able to go back? There are a number of deaths. For the development of, for the growth of, for the sustenance of migrant workers, there are some packages also. In the context of civil aviation, the civil aviation is still affected completely. when they are going to lose their job, what about their life? In defense also, in the context of energy, as you know very well, since you are from Tamil Nadu, we are facing the problem of price rise from both petrol and diesel. In this Atmanirbhar Abhiyan package, the government is stressing to go for solar energy, which is available all the 365 days. It is boon to India. In any other country, it is not such so. Housing also. In the context of social sector, they concentrated especially on public health. They concentrated especially on public health because it is very much necessary. The death rate has gone beyond the limit. But at the world level, India is alone, or India is only the country capable to control the death rate even in the midst of the largest population. You can compare the data with America and other well-developed countries. Further, the COVID totally affected the educational sector. You believe it or not? You should believe, because of the impact of COVID, right from KG to research institution, they have closed for the past 2 years, unable to conduct the examination, conducted examination online. You know very well what is the status of online examination. And they have gone for different marking system to announce the 10th and plus 2 result. More than 85% of the people, whether they are eligible or not, whether they are capable or not, they have secured 90 plus, and they are expecting the seat from different colleges. And we do not know what is the status of education when such people who are not capable but secured more marks and entered. So even UGC recommended go for 30% offline class and 70% online class. But here in the special package, they said technology driven Prime Minister e-Vidya, that is multi-mode access to online education. We should make our students to accustomed to the online education. Now the habit of online education is increasing, but we have to develop the technology to attract the student on par with offline education. See, these are all the summary or gist of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. These are all the 8 sectors. Nirmala Sitharaman conducted 5 different conferences and announced one by one. See, whatever it may be the government's announcement, one cannot say that will be appreciated by all or that will be taken by all. There are number of criticism also. Actually, if the criticisms are from academic side, very particularly from researcher side, that should be welcomed, because there is no politics there. There is no politics there. So, for which what we have to do is, we have to go for another slide. I will take up this slide in finish this those slides in 10 to 15 minutes. And then let me concentrate on agricultural sector. Please wait. Let me share the screen. Let me go. Friends, are you able to see this slide? Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
Are you able to see
Sir,
this
it was
slide?
visible, sir, but now it's not
Okay,
visible.
okay. Thank you.
Now it's visible, sir.
Okay. So, when she conducted the conference to announce the packages for small farmers, they strongly felt that rupees 30,000 crore additional emergency working capital for farmers through NABARD. And NABARD will extend an additional refinance support of rupees 30,000 crore. And above the rupees 90,000 already being provided by NABARD for meeting crop loan requirement of rural cooperative banks and RRBs. You may ask a question. Why it is, are you able to follow me?
You are telling that we should maintain
No,
halal
someone is
relations.
speaking. So what happened? What is the necessity? As you know very well, once they announced the lockdown, the farmers are unable to go for harvest. Even if it is harvested, they are unable to go for packing, taking it to the market and sell them at the required or expected, even at the minimum cost. So they are all perishable goods. There is no infrastructure to save them also.
1 second, sir.
Hello.
Yes, someone wanted to ask question. Yes, sir. Yes, Ahmed, you can ask question at the end. Okay, we'll give you time to ask questions. Sir will address all the questions. Okay.
Yes,
So please,
definitely.
yes, sir.
Definitely.
Thank
At
you so much, sir.
the end of the session, you can ask question. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So, through the rural cooperative banks, the NABARD made an arrangement to give the credit facility. I told you earlier, whatever it may be the program, the farmer should have awareness or get awareness, or the other should create awareness like NGO, farmers producer organization, even like the higher education institution should participate themselves and create awareness as the extension center what we are doing. The next one is rupees 2 lakh crore credit to boost 2.5 crore farmers under Kisan Credit Card Scheme. Here I would like to tell you one thing. The Kisan Credit Card Scheme was only meant for farmers, but when they announced the Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme, they have included fishermen, animal husbandry farmers, the farmers who are keeping the livestock along with them. They have also been included. So it is much useful and beneficial. I don't want to say, I won't say, it will give maximum profit to them. At least these things will prevent the farmers from abnormal or unexpected loss. So the 2.5 crore farmers will be benefited from this. Further, during the lockdown period, minimum support price purchases of amount more than rupees 74,300 crores. What I am going to discuss. The minimum support price you know very well. But in the context of agriculture sector, unfortunately, other than agriculture, the price will be fixed. The price of the product will be fixed by the producer. But unfortunately, in the context of farmers, very particularly small farmers, they are unable to fix the price of their own product even in the normal time. I can ask one question, because here the business economics students are here. Whatever it may be the product, when you are producing maximum quantity, they will be happy because they are able to sell it all the production at the expected cost, even at the minimum profit. But only in the agricultural sector, when the production is more, automatically the farmers are in trouble. When the production is more, they are unable to fix the higher price, given a price which gives average profit to them. They have to sell their product at the lowest cost. That leads to stop agricultural activities, sometimes leading to farmers' suicide also, because they are unable to get what they have invested. I will tell you a small example. Even from Tamil Nadu, when tomato or any other vegetable, when you are producing more and more, during that period, the cost of the tomato, 1 kg at the cost of 10 rupees. They are unable to bear even the transport cost. I have seen in number of places, rather than selling the product at the lowest cost, they smashed at the field itself. Why? We don't have the storage. I don't want to say storage capacity. We don't have the storage infrastructure. Even now, Professor Rahim knows it very well. Now, because of the climate change, we are getting rainfall even during the summer days. The farmers may decide, tomorrow I'm going for a harvest, but a day before harvest there will be rain. It is not possible to save the product. Sometime after harvest, they are going to hand over it at the marketing society. Since there is no storage facility, they are keeping the paddy in the open ground. When there is a rain, marketing society won't give compensation. They remove the wet grain, and for remaining, the price will be fixed. Now, who is the loser? Now you imagine, in the midst of the COVID, even in Kadalur district, watermelon and some other vegetable and fruits, they are unable to harvest, they are unable to store it, and there was a very great loss. So that is why what they said, the Kisan credit card facility will be extended to all. The PM Kisan fund transfer of 18,700 crores. Still, the small farmers are not having awareness about Fasal Bima Yojana. As a student of economics, you know very well. What do you mean by Fasal Bima Yojana? It is nothing but crop insurance. But the only problem is, if I am going to ask my farmer from my extension service village, do you have the Kisan credit card? They will reply in Tamil, no sir, we have only whatever attai. I used to translate them. Whatever attai, it is nothing but Kisan credit card, you can use it. And even some places, they do not know for what purpose the Kisan credit card is there. And another problem is Bima Fasal Yojana, crop insurance. Even they do not know how to apply for crop insurance. Why? I'm sorry to say, when the central government is announcing a scheme, giving the name in Hindi, the state government should take up responsibility and translate the scheme in their own vernacular language, then only the farmers are able to understand these schemes are only meant for the benefit of us, then only they will participate. Okay. One cannot leave agriculture because we call it as agriculture and allied activities. Here, very number one allied activities with agriculture is animal husbandry. If you see this slide, you may shock. During the lockdown, demand of milk reduced by 20 to 25%. Please mind it, note it down. Not the supply. Demand is reduced. What do you mean? What do you mean by this? They are unable to take up the milk and supply to their own consumers. 560 lakh liter per day procured by cooperatives against daily sale of 360. What about the remaining 200 liters of milk? Where there is the storage, there the government said total 111 crore liters extra procured, ensuring payment of rupees 4,100 crore. This will be compensated by the Cooperative Milk Society. And there I saw one interesting article. There the author has given one suggestion. During such time when demand is, supply is more than the demand, it is better to go for value added product. It is better to go for value added product. The same thing is applicable to fisheries also. The same thing is applicable to fisheries also. So since I told you that I am concentrating only on economics aspect, here again I will come back. Here, lack of adequate cold chain and post-harvest management infrastructure in the vicinity of farm gate causing gaps in value chain. This is the problem. You may ask me a question, sir, what is the role of Food Corporation of India? Why we have failed in post-harvest management? What is our capacity of infrastructure? Keeping the agricultural product intact for further supply throughout the year. Here, I have gone through one EPW article. There, they have rightly pointed out most of the infrastructure to safeguard the agricultural products are available in North India, that too particularly in the state of Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. And what about the remaining states? Why they are not available? That is why the government stressed and has given much concentration on infrastructure. And another problem is, Nirmala Sitharaman talked about I told you, technological invention. Because when we are talking about the technology, poor adoption of modern technology, that is both storage and handling. These two factors should be given weightage. That is why they said post-harvest management. Post-harvest management is very poor in southern states. If we have a very good post-harvest management with a very good cold storage facility or storage facility, one can supply the product at the same price during the years, which will not affect both consumer and the producer. So that is why in this particular stage they said focus has been on short-term crop loans while investment in long-term agriculture infrastructure has often not been enough. So that is why they said it is the responsibility of the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan to invest in long-term for agricultural infrastructure. Until that, short-term crop loans should be given. It is to save these small farmers. Please, friends, note that I am bothering only about the small farmers. So that is why they said financing facility of rupees 1 lakh crore will be provided for funding agricultural infrastructure project at farm gate and aggregation points. Aggregation point is nothing but primary agricultural cooperative societies. You know it very well. Now the NABARD is promoting farmers producers organization. You know very well. Now we are talking about the cooperative farming. Cooperative farming. You know very well. Rather than going for, say, for example, if a small farmer is going to take up farming at his own 2 acres, he may expect or he may face difficulties or loss because of certain factors. But what they suggested, it is better to go for cooperative farming. Cooperative farming. 10 small farmers are able to join together and to farm, and whether it is profit or loss, they can share among them. So in that context, NABARD wanted to promote farmers producers organization. When farmers are coming under one producer organization, there the thing is they are able to fix the price for their product. I'll tell you one example. Viluppuram is my nearby district. There, a boy who completed his computer science degree, he formed one farmers producers organization collecting 100 farmers from his area. After the production, with the help of the computer and net facility, he contacted those who are interested to buy this particular variety. He contacted them and proved the quality, and he added the value and fixed his own price. What happened? Those who are interested to buy the product, one particular paddy variety, they said, we will send the lorry, please you export them to our state. Now he is able to run the farmers producers organization in a profit manner, and throughout the year the small farmers are getting the benefit and they are moving towards the sustainable development. Here one question is, the question is nothing but, one research scholar rightly pointed out that okay, announcement regarding the infrastructure we are welcoming. Announcement regarding the infrastructure we are welcoming. But the question is, what about the agricultural market reform? What about the market reform? Immediately you can ask a question. Okay, the market has to be, they have given reform measures. As you know very well, now the group of farmers, they are protesting against that bill. Why? Who are protesting? Whether small farmers are protesting the bill. This is the question. But some of the field survey and observation pointed out, no, the small farmers are not protesting. Only the big farmers are protesting, only the brokers are protesting. Why? When you give the right to fix the price of their product by the small farmers, the others cannot survive. The basic aim of agricultural marketing society, the basic aim of the concept of mandi or e-nam. I told you earlier, one of the computer student has done e-nam. Everything by online. Even transactions are by online, keeping the records intact, giving the actual income. Transparency. Transparency. The aim of the Atmanirbhar Bharat is nothing but transparency. See, these are all the things available. These are all the announcements by the government. Now, as a stakeholder, as the beneficiary, it is your responsibility to come forward and take up all the things, not only for the benefit of the individual and for the benefit of the society. Whatever it may be the reforms, let it be. It should beneficial to the society. Society is nothing but not all the common people. You can take it in two different ways. One is society and the another society is farmers or the small MSME, whatever it may. So what they said, okay, infrastructure, funding the infrastructure, well and good. But what about the status of small farmers while they are fixing the price in the present condition, whether it is possible? This is the question raised by a scholar. What they said, apart from e-nam, it is not possible that all the small farmers should know about e-nam or farmers producers organization. But the thing is, at least in a particular area, to avoid the middleman and brokers, the small farmers can form a group and fix the price on the basis of their quality, for which what is necessary, infrastructure is necessary. Without infrastructure, it is not possible. In practical, what is happening? Once a farmer, whether it is paddy, wheat, vegetable or fruit, whatever it may, I'll tell you one example. Professor Rahim will accept it because since he belongs to this area. I'll give the example, then go further. Chidambaram is famous for jasmine. What is happening? When the production is more, sometime there will be no people to buy it. They will buy it at the lowest cost. Since it is a perishable on the day itself, the producers have to sell it before 4 o'clock of that particular day, or otherwise they have to sell at the lowest cost, or they have to put it in the garbage. They are the loser. But what is happening here, when there is heavy production at the lowest cost, the total production will be taken back by the middleman and broker in a particular mandi or sandai or market where there is a demand for jasmine. There they will fix the price 700, 800, even 1,300. During the festival days, they will fix the highest price, sell it, and they are the beneficiaries, not the small poor farmers. What is the reason behind it? One, they don't have the storage facility. What they are expecting, please arrange for a storage facility. If it is arranged, we are able to sell it at the same cost for another week, because that will not be perished. And another, their expectation and requirement is, it is better to establish a small scent factory. From there we can fetch more income as the producer. We are ready to work at the factory. So what is happening? The scholar rightly raised a question: who is fixing the price? Whether the producer? He said, in the present condition, the small farmers are not in a position, there is no environment to fix the price on their own, which will be beneficial both the producer and the public. So what is the solution? Market reforms are here, but the problem is the small farmers are unable to select their market, because the only obstacle is a syndicate by the broker and others prevent them. Okay, the Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme is quite useful, but the problem is how far the market reforms are helpful to the small farmers. Here they have announced, on the basis of the Atmanirbhar Abhiyan proposal, several steps in the right direction. One is amendments to Essential Commodities Act. Amendments to the Essential Commodities Act. Number 2, reform to ease the sale and movement of agricultural produce and measures to reduce price and quality uncertainties in contract farming. That contract farming should be avoided. That is why I am suggesting cooperative farming. There should be no barrier from one state to another while they are taking up their produce from one state to another. What do you call? No tax should be levied. No toll gate. When you are taking up the produce of watermelon from Chidambaram to Chennai, where they are able to sell their product at the highest cost to get the profit. The problem is they have to cross more than 6 to 7 toll gates, where they have to pay each 100. If they return after a day, again they have to pay 700, 1,400. One small farmer is unable to afford such things. And Trade and Commerce Ordinance has provision for greater flexibility in establishing trade areas for sale and purchase of agricultural producers, removing barriers to interstate and interstate trade. What I told you, cess, levy, toll, that cannot be borne by the small farmers. So here, what number of studies are available? Even from my hometown, there are number of studies are available. From those studies, what we expect is, one may ask a question, sir, these are all the reforms, old things, but you are giving those things like old wine in a new bottle. But what is wanted is collective action by the farmer, agri-entrepreneur, agri-business. It is a new concept. Agri-entrepreneur, agri-business. These are all the emerging concepts. These things has to be cleared by the academicians like us, and make the small farmers to understand these are all the beneficial things they are able to take up. Further, I told you when I was talking about the technological development, electronically traded platform. It is nothing but e-sales. But people are now opposing online. When you are bringing the small farmers also into online trade, there is no problem. But here, what I am suggesting, collective action. There is a Ostland's theory in economics. Collective action collective action will definitely take any group towards the sustainable development. And another thing, in the absence of supporting and proper ecological environmental thing, market reforms may prove to be counterproductive. See, proper environment should be created. The small farmers should be educated. I told you, even most of the small farmers from Tamil Nadu, particularly from southern part of Tamil Nadu, where more farmers are there, even in Tanjore district, Kadalur district and other districts, still most of them are not unable to understand. They don't have awareness regarding the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan while they are in trouble. Last week, I conducted a village farmers meeting and explained to them Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan related to agriculture. I told them these are all the announcements made by the government. Make a note of it. Approach the Panchayat office or NABARD, Agricultural Cooperative Marketing Society and Agricultural Cooperative Bank, and you can ask the assistance or you can get clarification and you can fulfill your need through the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, through which you will be also become self-reliant and the country will also become self-reliant. And one of the farmer asked me a pertinent question. Okay, sir, why we should not go for combined farming? There is another term also, combined farming. For which farming Annamalai University is the pioneer. I asked him, what do you mean? I know. He said, when we are going for agriculture, where the water is available up to a particular stage, because irrigation is much necessary, why we should not go for poultry farming or goat rearing in the midst of the field along with fish culture, integrated farming. Afterward is integrated farming. If they go for such thing, they can get assistance for agriculture, animal husbandry and fishery also. If they go for integrated farming, they are able to get benefit from fish production, poultry, egg, even sheep, and from paddy field also. They are able to get 5 different sorts of benefit also, for which the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan is much helpful. But before finishing one thing, what is wanted is create awareness about this scheme among the small farmers, and there also the MSME, micro, small and medium enterprises people are also there. They do not know what to do. It is the responsibility of not only of the government, NGO, farmers producer organization, very particularly local panchayat and the higher education institution, very particularly the students of economics, commerce, and business economics, to create awareness among the small farmers to make self-reliant in agriculture sector for not only for the society as the whole country. So these are all the gist of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan and its impact on agriculture. This is the largest topic. It needs 3 to 4 different sessions to take up one by one, and what are all the problems existing here, and what are all the solution by the academician for policy making. But today's my aim of my speech is introduction about the Bharat Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan and what is the role of ABA in the context of agriculture and the allied activities. Since most of the participants are from students community, very particularly from commerce and business economics, how this will be helpful for even from agricultural produce, one can divert the product and making the final product through the small, medium, and micro enterprises, making it as a value added product. So it is the eye opener for the students community and those who are interested to know about the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan to them. Okay, there is a question by Dr. S.K. Prakash. What is the problem in implementing large-scale integrated farming? Large-scale integrated farming, if the number of farmers are more than a particular level, say for example, farming in a large scale, it is applicable in a particular areas. If you go for ordinary cooperative farming alone, just paddy cultivation, that may be the profit may be divided. But if you go for poultry, fish, and others, say for example, if there are 25 to 30 farmers for fish, poultry, and sheep, in the context of integrated farming, it is 30 members are not required. Only the specialist and those who are able to do it are alone required. In that context, one will work and the profit will be shared by others. That is why large scale integrated farming we are avoiding. But if we think how one has to work, sharing, that is why I told you collective action, then there is no problem to share the profit. Any other clarification, please?
Yes, if anybody has any questions, you may ask now. You can even type your question in the chat box.
Or even you can ask me.
Yes.
No questions or clarification? Professor Rafi, shall we wind up? Hello. Hello.
Sir, just wait, sir. Just wait, sir. Just wait, sir. Sorry for inconvenience, sir.
Okay.
Just wait, sir.
Yes, sir. One boy is having some questions, sir. 1 second, sir.
Yeah, please.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Yes, please.
Sir, I'm Rifat from New College, second year economics. I have a question about why India is still having low warehouse capacity.
Yes. See, this is a good question. Even in my lecture, I told you they have established infrastructure only in 3 states on the basis of their production, even long back. But the established the government did not concentrate on that, for which there are 2 reasons. Since we are the stakeholders, we have to approach and make them to establish the infrastructure. And it is also the responsibility of the government to establish the infrastructure. So now only they are able to understand, though they know very well there is no established infrastructure. Now they are doing it. On the other hand, in the context of production also, it is increasing. So on par with the production, the infrastructure, that is cold storage facility, post-harvest management, post-harvest savings, and everything should be done in different aspects. For wheat and paddy, ragi, they are different. For vegetables, they are different. For fruits, they are different. All the above, each and everything should be made into value-added product for keeping the product for a long time. So these are all the things to be done. Now the government has announced we have to strengthen the infrastructure. So we have to work along with the government, and we have to get the benefit and make the government to establish them. So this is the time.
Arrows.
Any other, please? Professor Rafi, sir, please. Professor Rahim.
My name is Abdul Hakim from the New College, second MA Economics. I have a query. Is made in India related to Atmanirbhar Bharat?
Yeah.
This is my question.
Please.
I repeat again. Is made in India related to Atmanirbhar Bharat?
Definitely, because produce locally and sell globally. Made in India product, it is nothing but it is for our self-reliant. If your product is the best, you can export and you can get the foreign exchange. So made in India is very much related to Atmanirbhar. it is rather than exporting certain goods from other countries, it is better to produce by ourselves and getting the more foreign exchange through which we can attain this self-reliant. So it is much related. Good question. Okay. Any others? Any others?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Mohammed Sahid, do you want to ask any question?
Sir, sorry to once again interrupt. I am very much delighted once again here to stand before the audience, greater audience, moreover the enlightened personality, Dr. G. Vedanta Desikan. And here it is, after listening your elaborative lecture, I remember a small story. Story runs like this, and I think the expert will be bearing for a few seconds. And here, the story is, some group of people are traveling in a small boat in a river or in a sea, whatever you can think or imagine like. And in a boat, there are two monkeys also sitting along with these passengers. Generally, after seeing this river water, which is having a very hard waves, these monkeys used to jump here and there.
Yes.
And along with this boat, there was also a philosopher sitting like, and he is a subject expert, what we can that is imagine. And these monkeys are unable to control by any master or anybody, even the master of these monkeys. And after observing this, the philosopher is coming forward and he is asking, can I help you, the master, to control these monkeys? And immediately the master says, sir, I am very grateful if at all you can control these monkeys. Immediately this philosopher is taking these two monkeys, and immediately dropping them in the river, mid of the river. Suddenly these monkeys are struggling here, there, and their concentration is now to protect their life. And they were struggling, and the boat is traveling for a few seconds. After traveling and observation of these things, once again this philosopher, because always a philosopher will be a very kind-hearted person, he takes these two monkeys out of this water and once again places on the boat. And after placing on the boat, the monkeys will be keeping silent because of the realization of the safety of life. Therefore, here, after listening your speech, all these comments, whatever are coming on the Atmanirbhar program, is just like the two monkeys which are dancing before falling onto this river bed or river water. That's what I can observe. But anyhow, this topic of Atmanirbhar, whatever the Prime Minister's Yojana programs, are debatable issues. And my students altogether belong to the city. They too have some questions. And yesterday they have read a newspaper relating to Ford India company closing their windows for all placements. Therefore, any policy will be having some implications, will be having some weaknesses. And moreover, with all these comments, I am very grateful to you, sir, to enlighten the topic, a broader topic, a debatable topic to us, making us to understand what Atmanirbhar program is. And with this a few comments, now I request the organizer and organizing secretary to propose vote of thanks. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon to one and all present here, online as well as offline. It gives me immense pleasure to give the vote of thanks for this one-day national webinar on Atmanirbhar Bharat and its implications. First of all, I thank our college management for providing this opportunity to organize this program, and I wholeheartedly thank our principal, Dr. S. Bashir Ahmed sir. I thank our respected Vice Principal, Academic, Professor Sheikh Mohammed sir. I thank our respected Vice Principal, Administration, Dr. Kamal Nazir sir. And I thank respected COE, Professor Abdul Latif sir. And I sincerely thank our guest speaker, Dr. G. Vedanta Desikan, for accepting our invitation and delivering a thought-provoking and encouraging session. Sir, your thoughts have enlightened our minds and have shown us a new path. I profoundly thank our beloved head of the department, Dr. S. Karimullah Basha sir, our coordinator of business economics, Dr. A. Abdul Rahim sir, and all the staff members of our department for helping me in conducting the program in a smooth manner. I also thank all the other faculty members of other institutions and students for their active participation. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. All the best to the organizing team, especially my good friend and well-wisher, Professor Abdul Rahim and Rafi. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. So now we are closing the session. Certificates will be given you after filling the forms, okay? Feedback forms. Thank you once again, sir, for the session. Thank you all.